All right, final thoughts on the National Football League draft. I talked about day 1 winners and losers. I talked about day 2 winners and losers. I talked about day 3 winners and losers. One thing I didn't get to, though, was the Scrap Heap picks, which happened right after Mr. Irrelevant was called. You got all the ones that were not drafted, got scooped up immediately, and we came to you live and announced some of those players who were signed, at least to invites to minicamp, training camp, and whatnot. A lot of players, you can check out the list online, were picked up by other teams that were not drafted into the NFL, but teams thought enough of them to pick them up, give them a call, say, come on in, try out for the team. So I want to give you my top 3 of all these signings, my top 3 Scrap Heap picks. Are you ready? That just happened. I think all these happened on Saturday. All right, so number 1. This is a guy that I mentioned on Saturday. I said he will not be drafted, but he'd probably be, I listed about 3 or 4 that would be signed, quarterbacks that would be signed by a team. Sam Hartman was signed by the Washington Commanders, the quarterback from Notre Dame. He played 5 years at Wake Forest and kind of put them back on the map a little bit. And then he played last year at Notre Dame after his transfer. 6 years of playing college football, all right? He's got very good accuracy. I think he's like 6'1", a little small, though, his stature. He is very calm in the pocket. He's got good timing. Stands tall in the pocket. However, he has 0 elite traits. Sometimes he can be a little too calm and a little slow to react to pressure, which makes him kind of a sitting duck. And he's got below average velocity. And he's old. He's 25. He'll be 25 during the season. Okay. Another one of his strengths is his looks, folks. Okay. I think this is one thing that helped him get this is a rare thing, but he got like a $220,000 signing contract with a bonus, which means that the Commanders have plans to have him on the team, at the very least on the practice squad as the 3rd quarterback. So right now they have Jaden Daniels, the top pick, they're the number 2 pick overall. The presumed starter, Marcus Mariota, is the backup. And then there are 3 other quarterbacks there. Jeff Driscoll, you may have heard of that name, a perennial like backup 3rd stringer. And Jake Fromm from Andy's Bulldogs, who's been in the league now for like 6 years, also called Jake Fromm Farm State. So those 2 are kind of were kind of inherited by the new ownership, new GM coaching staff. But it looks like they want Sam Hartman will, in all likelihood, be the number 3, and those other 2 will be released. So, wow, that's but he's got those other 2, Driscoll and Fromm, have no upside whatsoever, and Sam Hartman is a rookie. But Hartman has 0 upside either. Okay, I mean, it's really just, he's really can't go anywhere than kind of where he is. At best, he's a Colt McCoy, and that's really putting it. That's really the furthest he can go, I believe, is to be a Colt McCoy. And that will be a good improvement. The guy is dreamy, folks. I'm telling you, he is dreamy. I looked at him, I was like, wow, you look like that guy. Yeah, I'm telling you, you wouldn't have to deal with any crap in the world. I'm not saying to be smooth sailing, but you could get yourself out of a lot of jams with those looks. He's the most dreamy-looking quarterback since Clipboard Jesus. Remember him, Bolts? Charlie Whitehurst out of Clemson. He was in the league as a backup for a long time. Anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing him playing in the preseason, and looking forward to seeing him in the thong as well. So number 2 on my list is Wayne Ruby, wide receiver, picked up by the Jaguars, 6'1", 190. He played for, what's that college? Mount Union, Division III. Apparently he just didn't have enough speed quite to play for like Ohio State. He seems like just the type that couldn't quite make the cut at Ohio State. Played for Johnny's Raiders, and boy, what a career he had there. A 5-year guy. Even as a freshman, he was all OAC, honorable mention. Johnny saw him his best year in 2022, went to some of the games. That was the year that they got all the way to the championship game, the Stag Bowl, and lost to North Central in a heartbreaker. I think it was 28-21. Is that right? Down in Salem, Virginia. But Ruby had a great game, 9 receptions, 109 yards, and a touchdown. In that season, he had 105 receptions, 30 touchdown receptions, for a 17.0, a sparkling 17.0 yards per catch. Incredible. The guy, in his career at Mount Union, 74 touchdown catches, a 15.5 yards per catch average. He's got great work ethic. He's a precise route runner. He's got great burst off the line of scrimmage. Might need to add another layer of toughness for like physical matchups with cornerbacks. Might want to focus more on like some breakaway moves, but I think this guy could possibly make the Jaguars roster. I hope he does. So does John. I think he could be good if they use, like, I don't know what the Jaguars use, but if he's like in a spread offense kind of thing, maybe he'll show something in preseason. Maybe the Jaguars cut him in a team with a spread offense, signs him, they can use him. I think he has the speed to take the top off a defense in a spread offense. So Wayne Ruby Jr., number 2. And then last but not least, number 3, my top 3 Scrap Heap picks. My favorite name in the NFL right now, Storm Duck. Picked up by the Dolphins, a cornerback, 6'1", 201 pounds, out of Louisville. He was undrafted, but the Dolphins believed in him, and there he is. All right, so he's got some of his strengths. He's got a long frame. He's muscular. He's ambidextrous, and he uses that. He uses a good jab timing to irritate wide receivers, and on the press release. And some of the weaknesses, doesn't really impose his size quite enough in run support, which he needs to improve at. And he takes sometimes some passive angles on to ball carriers. So a couple of things he needs to work on. But just that name, Storm Duck. I bet he's a Southern gentleman. I don't know where he's from, but I bet he also does some power walking as part of his regimen. Storm Duck. All right, so those are my 3. Sam Hartman, quarterback, Commanders. Wayne Ruby, wide receiver, Jacksonville Jaguars. And Storm Duck, Dolphins, cornerback. Watch those 3 guys in training camp. Hope they make the team. All right, this concludes everything about the NFL draft, boys. Thanks for watching.